Can we talk?
Yes,
can we talk about how?
Peacemaker. Sorry.
How? Yeah.
What? Can we talk about what?
Peacemaker sucks.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby!
That's all I got. Peacemaker.
You need to get a sound clip of him yelling freedom.
No. Peacemaker sucks.
Andre, why don't you tell us how you really feel?
No, wait. When we say it sucks, are we referring to the fact that it's better than other DC properties, or that it sucks in
it's better than other DC properties, but but that's a low bar, yo.
Well, that's the bar they set.
I just can't with James Gunn. Yeah, like he's the tropiest dude on the planet, and everything is so. It's so telegraphed. It's boring to watch.
What?
I will. Let me back up a minute.
Okay.
The last episode
4. I haven't watched 4 yet. I haven't gotten to that one. I know. I'm sorry.
That was actually a decent episode.
Okay. So do you feel like there's still a chance? I mean, you're 4 episodes into what I'm assuming is an 8-episode season, right?
I hope so, but I hope so because Titans started out strong, and all that's my favorite hboMAX series. And I hope that because he's got the latitude to make it a good show, he makes a good show. I don't like him as a director. He's transparent and he's very he telegraphs every play.
Yeah. Do you think all these people are in a tough spot because they're almost too restricted by existing storyline and current business numbers to meet that they can't even really make interesting personalized stories anymore?
Oh, they enjoy fucking up with canon.
Oh yeah.
That's canon does not hold them back.
It's been pretty widely reported that HBO Max and DC essentially told James Gunn, you can do literally whatever you want with Peacemaker.
Oh, cool.
And that's how we got Naked John Cena.
Also, it was basically
that's
the same
what this
thing
is.
with the Suicide Squad that he remade.
They're all.
What's funny is that I watched one of those Everything's Great with the Suicide Squad, and it made me appreciate that movie a little bit more. I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying it's great. I'm just saying there were parts that I didn't pick up on.
It's better.
The first time
I could see
around.
that. I could see that. I think for me, I'm not really in the world so much of that. But I think I could look at it from an outsider perspective. Definitely not so there's no sense of nostalgia that comes to me when I see a new Spider-Man or any of these shows. I'm really unfamiliar with them, so they're kind of my first experience with them. But I never really. It seems like I never really looked to them for more. You're gonna hate this, man. Sometimes I never really look to them for anything outside of interesting CGI, stuff like that.
But that's dope, though. That's
so
dope.
I feel like a lot of times, I used to work with this guy who cried during the last Avengers movie, and I know the dichotomy between he was like, so what did you think about that? What did you think about the movie? He starts going off, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of.
You should have been I think it would be better if
I was
you
I actually missed the end. I fell asleep. And he was just astonished.
Why did you say that
astonished.
to him?
It was so long.
He obviously this is dear to his heart.
He was so confused. But, but I don't know. With these, this is the show with John Cena.
Yeah, the new HBO Max one.
Yeah. I enjoy John Cena, and I don't. I think the premise of the show is good. There's a lot of underlying story that I'm trying to enjoy, but I get lost with and I try to put it outside of my head. I just don't like James Gunn.
That's what I just don't understand. I'm still trying to figure out what it is about this show and James Gunn specifically that you.
The way that the female agent Hardass or whatever her name
Harcourt.
is, whatever. The way that
Hardass was great. You should have left it like that.
That whole dynamic it's disgusting. The first interaction, in the bar, I'm like, that's just weird.
Well, yeah, but it's supposed to be highlighting how stupid and awkward he is about that stuff.
No, but I don't think that's necessarily true because there's cleanup lines later on where he's like, well, I'm just trying to say something nice to you, right? So I think so. I just kind of get stuck on the things that and it's not. It's just annoying. I just don't like. I don't like James Gunn.
I know you don't. You've made that abundantly clear.
I didn't like the whole parking lot scene when everything blew up. I thought that was stupid. The fight with the chick,
Sonic
like
Boom.
Shorty, and I was just like, I just don't.
I am tired of watching shows where 90-pound girls beat up 100 people.
Yeah, that would annoy the fuck out of me.
Okay, but she's like a super alien freaky thing. Like,
well, that's cool. I didn't know.
No,
that.
I know. That's part of the whole thing.
I watched Charlie's Angels recently, and I was like,
yeah,
that's
no,
nonsense.
I mean, that's ridiculous. But yeah,
if we want to nitpick, why did she even have sex
that's
with
my
him?
Well, no, because she wasn't going to kill him at first. That was the whole thing. The only reason she killed him was because the moron left the freaking dossier that the team gave him on the butterflies, and so it has all this information. She's sitting there flipping through it on the bed when he's in the bathroom.
He never left. He never had that in the bar. He never left with that in the bar.
He left it. It was in his car.
So he took...
Yes, because he said, I didn't think it was safe in the car. Did you not watch the other episodes? He explained all of it. And the dude, his boss was you took this, classified dossier into an apartment of some rando who blew you? And he's like, she didn't blow me. We fully fucked.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan. I don't want to
It was hilarious. No, you don't get to fucking call this off.
Can we get you a Peacemaker outfit? Because clearly on the...
I'm gonna drop a bomb right here, DJ Clue bomb. This dude only likes it because Peacemaker's real name is Christopher
No,
Smith.
that's not the only reason I like it.
It is so true.
Not. It's a fucking amazing show. All right, look, first off, I fucking love this show. This show is hilarious. It is... I can't stop laughing at it. I am laughing out loud while I'm watching. I've rewatched the second and third episode multiple times already while I was waiting for the fourth episode to come out because that's how much I like this show. All right. Cena, who I didn't love in the Suicide Squad, I felt like it was a little bit, I feel like has finally started to kind of find his niche in this role. He's got his timing and stuff with the group down much better than he did before. Yep. Go ahead.
Hold on. You say that's actually written. That was intentional. So the whole thing about Peacemaker. Do you know about Peacemaker's origins in comics?
A little because after I watched the first 3 episodes, I was like, well, I need to understand what the fuck is going on here. So I went to the wiki page and started reading.
They play a little bit on the full fact he's delusional and he lives in this
right because in the comics
world.
He has the voices of the guys that he kills are supposedly in his helmet and communicating with him.
Yeah. But so besides that, the core of it is he's living in the world of his own imagination and his own expectation. I like how they incorporated a new thing of this, a whole trailer park aspect, because that shows that he comes from a really shitty upbringing, and this is where it was really hard for me to watch, because I relate a lot of that to my personal life as I was raised, where you had a domineering, abusive father who told you this is how the world is, this is what you need to do. So I grew up thinking this is how the world is, this is how I need to do. So when you get into the world, two things can happen: either it breaks your reality, and you see the truth, or you deny that reality and you become so abrasive to it that you become the villain, as they say. So in Suicide Squad, that's what we see Peacemaker struggling with. That's why he fights. He literally fights them because he's like, this doesn't make sense to me. We're supposed to do this XYZ. Why are you not doing this? Because he's not critically thinking. So now we're seeing, of course, part of the hero story, traditional hero storyline. He's back at home in his uncomfortable zone, but in a way, he's back at home in his comfort zone, but he's seeing everything in a new light. So as soon as you come over to his house, he can't figure out how to get into his own house anymore. He has to break into his own house to get a phone as completely bombarded with text messages about his past life. So this is why that's why I like it. That's why I'm also uncomfortable with it because I feel
I will
a lot
say
of
this:
similarities
there are
into
things about the show that I root for him in. Like the gem when he left the hospital. So that was great.
He's in the
So there are hidden gems in the show, and I respect and I appreciate that. But I think we're and this is just my critique. I think where James Gunn loses people that are trying to enjoy the story is he becomes James Gunn again.
I don't know what that means.
Well, he does some.
The same way.
Yeah, but that I understand. Michael Bay means explosions with a lack of plot. Like, what is it about the James Gunn stuff that you don't like? That's what I'm trying to understand.
I'll probably watch it again this weekend just to kind of give you some specific points, because that's why if I didn't like or enjoy part of the show, I would have stopped watching. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, there are things about like the way he directs and his writing also, where it's like, dude, you totally like you had me right there. I was with you, but then I don't want to play anymore. And that's where I'm trying to figure out how to connect those dots. I don't hate the entirety of the show. I just don't like the James Gunn like emphasis on the show. I think it could be better.
There's a lot of cool YouTube show and film reviewers. One of them I'm thinking off the top is like called A Closer Look. Another one is Critical Drinker. And they've kind of taught me a new appreciation of how to watch movies, as silly as that sounds, and watch shows.
Sure.
And yeah, if you guys, I mean, you're all busy guys, but check them out, and maybe you guys could have more understanding for how to like a different criteria of how to pick things apart.
Sure.
Because saying this sucks is helpful, like initially, or like it's like a nice summary,
right?
But
he's talking about how to articulate the hard facts
like okay,
Chris,
one thing
go
is
to your room. Go to your room. No, you will not tell me how to communicate.
Sucks.
One thing is like a character development. Something I've noticed that I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like, okay, for example, like if you have one character that makes one decision early on, then later on, okay, that establishes who they are. Like there's a left or right. They choose left. Okay, that's the type of person they are. They go left.
Yep.
Then all of a sudden later in the show, they go right. But there's no moment that teaches you why that's important, how that person changed.
To be fair, I think that's kind of what I'm having a problem with. I think I'm seeing like those gems in the show, and I don't figure out the transition to the next point.
So
and that's what I think. And I'm not trying.
Are you asking why Peacemaker is trying to make peace with himself?
I'm saying in general, like I watch this show and I kind of struggle with like I don't get why we're here. So that's.
Well, it's the moment he killed Flag. As soon as he killed him, he changed.
Because he realized like Flag was this guy who is basically what Peacemaker wants to be. Like the guy who does the right thing. But Peacemaker has always been like clouded.
Somebody's got some. Hold on. Somebody's got some static or something going on. Can you guys hear that?
Yeah, I hear it.
All right.
Better?
Yeah, it's a lot better.
It might have been. I just unplugged and replugged.
All I'm saying is like I notice and identify the gems in the show. So, and I'm just I'm having a hard time going, I can't connect these pieces. We lost Chris. We lost the other Chris.
Me?
Smith.
Oh. Okay. Hey, it wasn't me then. I'm pretty pumped about that.
Oh, it's Smith. Yeah, all your static. You can hear all your static.
I literally didn't do anything. I've been sitting.
I love the ocean waves.
Oh, it's better now.
It's better now.
Hey, man, I'm happy it was you, man.
Yeah, me too. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so last couple of thoughts from me on Peacemaker. I won't drag this out into a long argument. Yeah. The reason that I have really enjoyed the show so far is that while it is a comic book show that is over-the-top action, offensiveness, just like ridiculousness, at the same time, everything is essentially character-driven. Right? Like it's character development that is driving the plot of the show, not the action. The action is really just the background in which all of this individual character development takes place. And I love that juxtaposition. Like this zany, over-the-top action, but then you have a character like Peacemaker who you see struggling with his own identities, like the shit with his dad, you know, where he fits in with the group. The fact that, like, he could be friends with Diebeard, but he keeps pushing him away because he's a dick. Like, Vigilante, oh my god, my new fucking favorite character of anything ever. He's like the Deadpool of DC, only maybe even somehow better because he seems a little bit loopier. Like, and I know, Joe, it's like pushing it a little bit, but the whole
he's like the Bob.
Can you guys hear Joe?
No.
Yeah, so we're all fucking up now.
You guys
but yeah, so like I don't know, just Vigilante, the whole scene where he's helping him clean up the trailer, and he's like, "Where does this go?" And it's like, it goes with the tapes, dude. Like the guy's clearly not right. You know, when he's hiding behind the trash can and they're getting ready to go in, and he's, "What are you doing here?" Like, I don't know. There's that element of it. It kind of breaks up all of that seriousness, like you were talking about. Like, there's a lot of really heavy stuff that kind of happens, but I feel like Gunn, one of the things that I like about him is I feel like he does a good job of kind of balancing that with these more zany, kind of over the top things. And maybe that's just where, like, those are two things that you and I don't appreciate on the same level or in the same way.
That's fair.
And weirdly, like I said, I haven't watched many superhero movies. Is the Joker a superhero movie? I don't know, but it's kind of a comic book maybe.
Yeah.
And that's actually, it was not very action oriented. It was more like, I thought it was interesting from like a cinematic standpoint of like how they would show landscaping. Yeah, but I like that. And I like the darkness of it. I think sometimes like you're missing an important time, especially when like as someone who watched or read, participated with comics from a young age, now we're all older. And if sometimes like you're missing a point, like, okay, the comic attracts you initially, but if you don't address the darker parts of life, I think you miss a cool opportunity to interact with those thoughts and with that community.